Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Elena and today we're doing the Newbie Tag. So I've been on YouTube for about 2-3 weeks now, and I thought it was high time to get started on this apparent tradition of booktube, which is the Newbie Tag. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea who started it or who created it, so if you know, let me know in the comments down below, because I'd love to find out. So without further ado, let's get to it. So first of all, I guess I'm gonna introduce myself. So my name is Elena. I'm from Portugal and I moved to the UK to study theatre, and I've been living here for roughly 5 years. I graduated 2 years ago from university with a degree in acting and stage combat, so kick ass. And I love anything arts related, so books, art, drawing, sewing, anything at all, like music, anything at all. It's my jam. And yes, I'm 23 years old. Yeah, I had to think about that. I'm 23 years old. And I can't think of anything else to say. So we're gonna leave it at that. There you go. That's me. So first question, why did you start this channel? Why did I start this channel? So it was like a mix of a lot of things. But the main ones, I'd say, probably one, I love books. And about a year ago, I discovered booktube, and like I binged it so hard, and I just wanted to be a part of it. Like, it was such a wonderful community, and I've never had many people. I mean, I have a couple of friends I can talk to about books, but like usually it doesn't really happen. I don't really talk to many people about books, and I don't know, I guess I just wanted a place to share it and to do it because it sounded fun and it looked fun. So there we go. When I started this channel though, I didn't know it was gonna be a booktube. Honestly, I just wanted to do something in YouTube. I was obsessed with it, like I couldn't stop thinking about it. However, it's not something that I'm very comfortable with, because I'm very insecure. Yes. So it took me a while to get it set up, and then quarantine happened, and you know, when you when you locked up at home 24/7 with nothing to do, shit gets done. So that was pretty much it. That's why I started this channel. I wanted to share my readings and my hobbies and books with the world, and it looked fun, and I thought, why the heck not? So there we go. Question number 2, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to booktube? Well, fun things, apparently I make my friend spit out her tea laughing. Don't know why. I suck at comedy, like really, really bad. Like I literally had to study it at uni and learn how to do it, and I still failed miserably. That's how bad it is. I am at comedy. But I mean, apparently I make her spit her tea out while she's watching my videos, so I guess there's that. I like to think that I'm a pretty fun person all around, but you know, and I don't know, I think unique things I can bring to booktube is just my craziness all around. And yeah, sorry, I don't like talking. I have a really hard time saying anything positive about myself. Like, I always feel very vain and very pretentious when I do that. And so I have a hard time saying anything nice about myself, especially in front of a camera like I'm doing right now. So let's move on to question 3 before I give up on this whole video. Question 3. What are you most excited about for this new channel? Well, I'm excited that I started the channel to begin with. I guess I'd be excited if I could like become a part of the booktube community. That would be like my dream. I'd be excited if people could actually use my videos as sort of an escapism from their day-to-day life. That would be pretty cool as well. I'm just excited to see where it takes me and what I can do with it. And yeah, that's it. Not very elaborate response, but you know, there you go. You get what you get. Question number 4. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Boy oh boy. I don't think we have enough time in this video for this. Also, because I'm brilliant at being put on the spot and I haven't prepared, like all I have is the questions written out and I haven't actually written down any responses or answers, just because if I did, then this video would never go up. So I'm kind of like spontaneously doing it and see where it takes me. And because of that, I can't think of a single question right this instant, even though usually I'm tormented with all sorts of questions. So, how do you do it? How do you break that awkwardness of just talking to a camera? And like, how can you cope with the fact that you're putting your face and your opinions and voicing them out there? Like, aren't you scared that people are gonna trash talk you and stuff like that? Like, to me, that takes a lot of balls. These questions are mainly to the main booktubers that I watch, and the first ones I started watching, I'd say. So probably Brittany the Bibliophile, Books with Chloe, Piera Forde as well. Oh, Piera Ford? I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. Name butchering again. Not embarrassed at all. Murphy. Oh, and Naya reads and smiled. Yeah, she's always so happy and so full of energy, and it's contagious. And like, whenever I watch her videos, I can't like I can't do anything else besides smile. So them 5 are like the main ones that I was watching when I started booktube, and they're the ones that inspired me to put myself out there and create my channel. And so how did you do it? Like, how did you find the guts to put yourself out there like that? How do you cope with the nasty ass people that can sometimes be out on the internet? And how do you... These are very spiritual questions, but like, I guess if I had to say a couple about books, like, how do you read so many books? Where on earth do you find the money to buy all of these books that you read? And how do you find your next read? Because at the moment I'm catching up with books, but like, I seriously have a hard time finding new books unless they've already been found by another booktuber and they suggest it and then I go and read it. But like, how do you find your fresh reads? Like, there you go. Those are my questions. That's going to be messy to edit, but hey ho. Question number 5. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? So, as I said, I'm a shy person and I don't like people hating. And so I think my biggest challenge will be, 1, finding the guts and the courage to put myself out there and kind of stand my ground on my opinions without losing sight that, you know, sometimes I could be wrong and there's nothing wrong with being wrong. And, you know, you should always be willing to learn more. So I think my biggest challenge will be, don't be a wimp, essentially. Like, have your opinions and don't be afraid to share them with the world. don't be afraid to put myself out there. And yeah, and I think my biggest challenge will be to not get discouraged as well. Like, I started this whole thing as well because I'm not very good at, like, I'm very shy and I'm not very good at putting myself out there, and like in acting, that's a really important thing to do. And so I wanted to become more comfortable doing it. And then what better way to become more comfortable with something that makes you shiver in fear than to do it in a way that, you know, excites you. So for me, that was booktube and vlogging in general. So we'll see how it goes. So I think my hardest challenge to overcome will be just keeping it going and not get discouraged and not get cold feet and just give up the whole thing. But yeah, that's it. Question number 6. When did you start reading? Oh boy, I started reading before I even knew how to read. And that's because my mum is a big reader. She loves reading. So me and my brother, when we were kids, she would lie down with us in the evening and read us a story. And like we were reading this collection, I can't remember the name anymore. But we were reading this collection, and like each night she'd pick up a new book. It was a really big collection. She'd pick up a new book, and I remember, like, I loved those moments. And then when I started being able to read myself and get comfortable enough with reading that, you know, I'd want to pick up a book and read for myself and not because I was told. My mum had also, like, put in place this rule that after a certain time in the evening you'd had to go to bed, and if you weren't sleepy you could read, but you couldn't be watching TV, you couldn't be on your phone. Well, we didn't really have phones at the time, but like even after we got our first phones, we couldn't be on our phones, we couldn't be nicking mom's tablet and stuff like that. Like, we couldn't have any sort of electronics. If we wanted to stay awake, we could read a book, otherwise beddy time, sleepy time, night night. And so that kind of forced me to read. And when I say forced me, it didn't really force me because I already wanted to do it, but like it definitely encouraged it and made it a big part of my life. And then it kind of just carried on, and I continued doing it even though my mum wasn't forcing it anymore. I continued doing it, and like I remember even at some point I was so obsessed with reading that I would sneak some of my books into my lessons and just like stand with the lesson book and then have my book in front of it so that the teacher would think I'd be reading, you know, the class's subjects, and in fact I was reading about vampires and werewolves and fairies and sorcerers and etc. But yeah, so I started reading really freaking young. I can't remember when I started reading. That's like how long ago it was. And I kind of never stopped. I mean, I had a massive big reading slump, but like other than that, I didn't really stop. I still love books. I still love reading. So yeah. And then last but not least, question number something. What kind of books do you like to read? I read mainly young adult fiction and fantasy. Actually, no, young adult fantasy and some adult fantasy. I sometimes read a bit of fiction. I read pretty much anything. The only, like, the ones I obsessively read is young adult fantasy and adult fantasy in general, just fantasy in general. A little bit of fiction sometimes, though sometimes I have a really hard time telling where the line is between fiction and fantasy, so you know, there's that. I've read some like romances, I've read some historical romances, I've read a little bit of everything, but my favorites are fantasy usually, with a few like honorable exceptions. But that's it, guys. That's the last question. I have no idea how this video is going to look like after I've edited. I have no idea if I'm even going to post it, but whatever happens to it, I guess you'll find out, because if I do post it, then you're watching it right now, and if I don't, then you'll never see the light of day. So there we go. But yeah, that was it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with it. And I will see you on my next video. Bye.